Back class. Now we're gonna study our next subject, that is geography. In this we have to complete our chapter 5, natural vegetation and wildlife. In your class 7 you have learned about the natural vegetation and wildlife, the first part of this particular topic. Now we will discuss much more detail of this particular chapter in class 9. So here there's some introduction which is given here, that you can see around your side that there are so many bird, bushes, grasslands, trees, and you were some of it you were familiar of it, and some are indifferent or they are having some variations. So imagine the type of bioforms available throughout the country. So they are about in India. If you look at in India, 12 mega biodiversity country of the world. So India is the one of the most 12 mega biodiversity we having, okay, according to the world. Then we have about 47,000 plant species in India and occupies 10th place in the world and the 4th place in Asia. Plant diversity. When we coming to the plant diversity, that simply means where we have variety, where we have variations. So the variations which we have as in the kind of your plant kingdom, we have about 47,000 types of plant variations, and due to this we score 10th place in the world and 4th place in the Asia. And coming to the flower category, flowering plant in India is about 15,000, which again is the 6% contribution in the world total number of flowering plant. And this flowering plant we have some un or a non flowering plant, that simply means जिनके फूल नहीं grow करते, that is fern, algae and fungi. This is also a part of your flowering plant. About 90,000 species of animals as well as a rich variety of fish in its fresh and marine water. So these are the wild things or a natural vegetation we have or we contribute to our world vegetation. Now coming closer to the topic, that is natural vegetation. What is natural vegetation? Natural, that simply means which grow on their own without interference of anyone, any helping hand is not gaining here. Okay, so natural which grow on their own without any help, without any aid. Okay, vegetation, that plant which grow with the help of the soil, mineral and rain, that is vegetation. What you see around or surrounding your house or your school area, grass, bushes, plant, these are your vegetation. Yes. So the definition which is clear here are, I'm sorry, so vegetation is given here. You can see this particular paragraph. I am discussing this paragraph only. The vegetation refers to a plant community which has grown naturally without human intervention for a long time. Natural vegetation is also a term as a virgin vegetation. So विदाउट इंटरफेरेंस, इंटरवेंशन, किसी की भी दखल अंदाजी के बिना जब आपका कोई भी प्लांट या बुशेस या ग्रासेस ग्रो करती हैं, दैट यू नोन एज योर नेचुरल vegetation. This particular definition given as a term of virgin vegetation. What is virgin? This is given here. You can go through it. So virgin vegetation which are purely Indian are known as endemic. जो कि purely Indian है, that simply means which are purely native. Native मतलब जो starting से यहीं पे ही grow किए हैं, कहीं और से इनको नहीं लाया गया है, that you know as endemic. Okay, and the thing which is come outside of your India is termed as exotic plant. I hope that you understood with these two terms, that is virgin vegetation, endemic and exotic. Okay, coming further to your chapter. Now, again, we have the two terms, that is flora and fauna. What is this? The term flora is used to denote plant of a particular region or a period. So, flora, you can take the three word, you can relate to it with the flower. You will never ever forget this term, that flora relate to your flower or a plant, whereas your fauna, take a from it and you will see that animal. Okay, the animal kingdom is known as your fauna. Okay, this is very simple. So species related to flora is plant, and the species which is related to your animal is considered as a fauna. The factor which is responsible for these flora and fauna kingdom is are there. Okay, are here, which is given here, that is land. Okay, land, soil, temperature, sunlight, and your precipitation. I hope that you learn, I hope that you have know about what is land, soil, temperature, sunlight, and precipitation. Now we will look one by one and discuss in a brief, so that you can get a fresh reference to these relief features. Land. So land defines directly or indirectly affects your natural vegetation. The type of land also help to make the natural vegetation. For example, if it is a mountainous region, your vegetation is like your um, coniferous type of plant. If the vegetation is a plain area or availability of a alluvial soil, then there is a good vegetation. For example, there should be a good grasslands. Okay, fertile level of agriculture should be there. So this land, this factor affects your flora and fauna availability. Coming to the soil, soil also play a very special role in this particular thing, that a different type of soil provide basis for a different type of vegetation. That is very sure about it. Different vegetation depend upon the different soil condition. For example, in desert you have cactus. Okay, why? Because the plant have to store their water, okay, moisture, so they have the spines on their uh, plant's body. Okay, that they convert their leaves into a spine. Okay, coming to the climate. Okay, how the climate, that is temperature, play an important role in the decision of your flora and fauna. The character and the extent of vegetation are mainly determined by the temperature, along with the humidity in the air, precipitation in soil. On the slopes of the Himalayas and the hills of the peninsula, away from the height of 915 meters, the fall in the temperature affects the types of vegetation and its growth, and changes it from tropical to subtropical temperature and alpine vegetation. So you can go through this particular. Again, I am drawing this globe so that you can get the reference of this thing. So you have in the middle you have a equator. As you move away from the equator, the temperature goes down. Due to this, it also make your tropical and subtropical type of temperature. In return, it also directly affect your vegetation. As you go away from the equator line, your vegetation also goes down. Okay, so this is the direct relationship of your temperature and vegetation plus moisture. You can see this table. This is a very good flow chart which is helpful for your understanding. So I have just made one particular figure like this. Okay, so in a tropical zone, which is here, the temperature is about your above 24 degrees Celsius. In average. This is average, and in the month of January the temperature is about 18 degree. So there is no frost. As you go to above subtropical, the temperature again changes. As you reach to the top, that is North Pole, the area is very cold. There is a snowfall. Okay, so you can see the temperature, how the temperature is changing. Now coming to photo period or a sunlight. As we discuss sunlight in your reference to plant, we generally use these terms, that is photo period or sunlight. Photo, that simply means sun. The variation in the duration of sunlight at directly places is due to a differences in latitude, altitude, season and duration of the day. Yes, of course, sunlight play a vital role or direct role in growth of your vegetation plus wildlife. As your vegetation is there, the wildlife automatically survive. As your vegetation goes down, your wildlife is in danger. Okay, there is some okay, precipitation. We have learned this in our previous chapter also. So precipitation is simply the things which comes in the liquid form or in the frost snow is directly affect your vegetation. It precipitation is simply, if you understand, is simply a moisture. Okay, in the form of frost, in the form of haze, in the form of snowfall, in the form of rain. Okay, so area which receiving a high rainfall, the vegetation is dense. The area which receiving a less rainfall, the area having vegetation like bushes, thorny bushes. Okay, so this is the things that controls your vegetation, and these are the factors which also affect your area. Okay, see, you can see this particular bar diagram. In this your x-axis is given all the state name plus your union territory, and here is the area in the percentage. So area, for example, taking our Uttar Pradesh area is which is covered by a natural vegetation is very less. See, it is not a 10%, it is less than 10%. So area under natural vegetation in Uttar Pradesh is less than 10%. But according to our sources or according to geographer, it is said that if you want to live, your area should be occupied about 33% of your land with natural vegetation. That simply means अगर you want to be survive, if you want a good environment, और आप जिस एरिया में रह रहे हैं या जितना भी आपके पास एरिया है उसका कम से कम 33% should be covered with the natural vegetation. But in our state it is different. Okay, and that is the case that we are that is the case we are facing this problem of pollution. Okay, because there is no filtration of your carbon dioxide. Getting my point? So next is types of vegetation. Now we will discuss one by one all the types of vegetation with reference to your globe. Okay, so first is your tropical evergreen forest, tropical deciduous forest, tropical thorny bushes or a thorn forest and shrubs, mountain nahi, mountain forest and mangrove forest. So let us begin one by one and discuss these topics here. So here is the answers. Just a second. Okay, so coming to the tropical evergreen forest, I am taking the notes. Okay, I'm just referring the things which is very important, and you please read your book carefully. Okay, so first of all, the tropical evergreen forest or a tropical rainforest, it is also said as tropical rainforest or a tropical evergreen forest. So annual rainfall is about more than 200 centimeter. The characteristics of this tropical vegetation or a tropical evergreen forest are warm and wet climate. So this is the characteristics of your forest. It is also known as wet and warm climate. Why wet and warm climate? Wet is because it is near to your tropical area, and we say that जहाँ पे सनलाइट ज़्यादा होती है वहाँ पे तुरंत बारिश होती है. As we are near to the equator, we receive direct sunlight, and at the same time we have a rain also, that in return is same as wet. So this is the one characteristic, that is warm and wet climate is the characteristics of your tropical evergreen forest. Second is trees shed their leaf at a different time of years. So the trees shed their leaves at the different times of the year. Okay, not generally they shed their leaves because this is evergreen. Third is height of the tree are more than 60 meters. So height of your trees is very high, that is 60 meters. Secondly, very dense and form of canopy. Okay, dense canopy, इतना ज़्यादा डेंस, इतने घने होते हैं that your sunlight cannot penetrate inside your forest. penetrate मतलब सनलाइट नहीं एंटर कर सकती है, इतना डेंस होता है आपका ट्रॉपिकल एवरग्रीन फॉरेस्ट. फिफ्थ इज woods are hard. The wood, the tree which grow here is very hard, is very strong. तो जो लकड़ियाँ होती हैं यहाँ की, जो पेड़ हैं वो बहुत ही ज़्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग होते हैं. सो एरिया कौन कौन सा है, हम इंडिया के रेफरेंस से आपकी बुक को समझा रहे हैं. तो इम्पॉर्टेंट जो वेजिटेशन होता है यहाँ पे, यानी कि ट्रीज़ जो इम्पॉर्टेंट है यहाँ पे, उसको आप समझ लीजिए. तो ट्रीज़ कौन कौन सी हैं यहाँ पे? यस, इबोनी, ठीक है, इबोनी, महोगनी, रोजवुड, रबर, चिचानो, ये यहाँ की इम्पॉर्टेंट वेजिटेशंस हैं. इम्पॉर्टेंट वाइल्ड लाइफ, ऑब्वियस सी बात है, अगर घना एरिया है, घना ही जंगल है, तो ऐसे एनिमल्स होंगे जो क्लाइंब करते होंगे. यस और नो? फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू हैव मंकी, you also have elephant, deer, variety of birds, sloth, scorpio, snakes. Okay, so these are the important wildlife. Second, the place is very important. So places are Western Ghats, Andaman Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep, Assam and Tamil Nadu. So you can connect these things. You don't have to mug up. You don't have to mug up. You just concentrate this. Okay, you just concentrate on it. You will find your answer. See that dark green color is your tropical evergreen forest. So the area receiving rainfall more than 200 centimeter, they have these types of forest. So here, here and here, plus you have Lakshadweep and Andaman Nicobar, and these your eastern side of India. Okay, very good. Now coming to the next part. So the description of plant, trees is given here, and description of your animals are given here. Now coming to the next forest type, that is tropical deciduous forest. Tropical deciduous forest. Tropical deciduous forest or the forest, it is also known as monsoon type of forest. It is also known as monsoon type of forest. Okay, in this there is two category. First is area receiving 100 to 200 centimeter of rainfall, and there is also an area which receives 70 to 100 centimeter of rainfall. So area which is receiving 100 to 200, that is known as wet deciduous forest, and the area which receives dry or 70 to 100 centimeter of rainfall, they consider as dry deciduous forest. Okay, so one by one we will discuss about it. So the area which is receiving these things, we talk in the tropical and deciduous forest. So characteristics of these forest are, first is same variety of trees that grow here shed their leaves at the same time of the year. Woods are moderately hard. So if the season is changing, they shed their leaves. Okay, variety of trees are same, plus wood are moderately hard. Okay, in comparison to your tropical evergreen forest, the trees is minutely less hard. Coming and discussing about the trees, which is important here. The dominant tree, that is teak, sal, sesam, bamboo, kher, sandalwood, arjun, and mulberry, are the important species of this forest. Second, teak, sal people name in the dry deciduous forest. So there are the variation, that is the area which is receiving 100 to 200 centimeter of rainfall. These uh, trees are teak, shal, sesam, bamboo, and dried deciduous area or a forested area which receives rainfall about 70 to 100 centimeter. These trees are teak, shal, peepal, and neem. The animal which survive here, or the animal which is grow here, are lion, tiger, deer, pig, elephant, and varieties of birds, lizards, snakes, and tortoise. Area which having this type of forest, example Jharkhand, Orissa, Chhattisgarh, and northeastern state Bihar, Uttar Pradesh. So these are the areas. You can refer to your map which is just given above here. See these areas. Okay, so these parts is known as your tropical deciduous forest. Coming to the next type of forest, that is the thorn forest and shrubs. Thorn forest and shrubs, the rainfall is less than 70%, and the characteristics are mostly thorny bushes and trees. मोस्टली यहाँ पे कटीले पेड़ कहेंगे और पौधे झाड़ियाँ होती हैं. ट्रीज आर डीप रूटेड. यहाँ की जो ट्रीज होती हैं वो उनकी जो जड़ होती है वो बहुत ज़मीन के नीचे तक होती हैं. And this is the reason that they want moisture, so their roots are deep inside the soil in search of water. Okay, third is leaves are modified into a spine, and stem had a waxy coating to reduce the loss of water. So there is one most important characteristics of these trees are their skin of the leaves are very greasy और ऑयल टाइप. दैट सिंपली मीन्स कि मॉइस्चर जो है या एक कोटिंग होती है, एक कोटिंग लगा दी जाती है जिसकी वजह से एक कोटिंग होती है इनके लीव्स पे, सो दैट कि एवापोरेशन ऑफ वाटर थोड़ा कम हो. तो इनकी जो लीव्स होती बहुत चिकनी होती हैं. ठीक, एक ये रीज़न है कि ये अपने आप को प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं. दूसरा, इनकी जो लीव्स होती हैं दैट मॉडिफाइड चेंज हो चुकी हैं इनटू स्पाइन, यानी कि कांटों में चेंज हो चुकी हैं। ठीक है, सपोज देयर इज एनी ट्री, उस इनकी जो लीव्स है वो कांटों में चेंज हो गई है। अब इससे क्या होता है कि सनलाइट की वजह से दे लूजेस देयर वाटर, दे लूजेस देयर मॉइस्चर्स इन अ लेस क्वांटिटी। ओके, सो एवापोरेशन जो प्रोसेस है वो यहाँ पे थोड़ा कम हो जाता है। ओके, नेक्स्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इज द ट्रीज विच ग्रो हेयर आर कैकिया, palm, cacti and euphorbias. The animals which grow here or the animal which survive here are, you have rats, pies, rabbit, fox, wolf, wild ash and camel. So this is about the desert area. So area which is responsible, or the area which having this type of forest. So your west side or the semi-arid side of your India, that is Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, Chhattisgarh. Okay. Now coming to the, you can see the pictures. Okay, it is given here. Now coming to mountain type of forest, or a Himalayan mountainous forest. Here the rainfall is not the factor. Here the main factor which is responsible, the height. Okay, so at the height of 1000 to 2000 meter, wet temperate zone it is considered, and 1500 meter or 3000 meter temperate mountain forest is considered. So area which is about in this height, they have trees which having a broad leaves. Okay, and these woods are very soft wood. बहुत ही सॉफ्ट वुड होते हैं ये, इनकी लीव्स बहुत ही ज़्यादा ब्रॉड होती हैं जो इतने हाइट में आते हैं। देयर आर द अदर थिंग विच इज़ ऑल्सो इम्पॉर्टेंट, दिस थिंग, कुछ माउंटेन फॉरेस्ट जो इस हाइट में मिलते हैं दैट इज़ 1500 टू 3000, ये कैसे होते हैं, दे आर कोन शेप्ड, दे आर कोन शेप्ड। ओके, निडल लाइक लीव्स, इनकी जो लीव्स होती हैं बहुत ही निडल लाइक होती हैं टू प्रोटेक्ट फ्रॉम द स्नो, कि वहाँ पे स्नो जो है वो डिपॉजिट ना हो, तुरंत वो गिर जाए। ओके, एक ये फैक्टर है। एट अ हायर लेवल द ग्रासलैंड्स फाउंड, और जितना ही आप और ऊपर जाएंगे तो आपको ग्रासलैंड्स मिलेंगे। द trees which is important here or which is considered in the coniferous forest is pine, devdar, silver fir and spruce cedar. We have also received the vegetation, mountainous vegetation, which is in the height of your 3600 meters, which is above the sea level. They are also considered into the two part, that is alpine. Okay, that is alpine grasslands, and second is your tundra grasslands. So in alpine grassland you have grassland used by the pastoral nomads of that area. Pastoral nomads, people who move from one place to another with their animals, who eat grass. And in the tundra area or tundra vegetation, no trees or grasslands found. So in this area there is no tree and no grasses. The trees which grow here are juniper, pine and birches. And in the tundra region there is no vegetation, nothing is there. So because sunlight does not reach here, so here mosses and lichens found. In alpine grassland, the animal which is to be seen here is red panda snow leopard. So this is all the information which is given here. You can go through it. Okay. Third, this is also important. Pastoral nomads. The name is very important. Gujjar and Bakrawals. These are the two tribe people which is come into the example of pastoral nomads. Okay. Now coming to the next forest, that is mangrove forest. Mangrove forest or a tidal forest, it is also referred to it. If you go to the west, sorry, if you go to the east side of your India, this, okay, this part of your India, in the east side, you will see Sundari tree has root submerged in the saline water and provide hard timber. आपने ये नाम तो सुना है बच्चे, दैट इज योर सुंदरबन डेल्टा. सुंदरबन डेल्टा जो है उसके पास जो फॉरेस्ट ग्रो करते हैं उन्हें आप कहते हैं मैनग्रोव फॉरेस्ट. ये कैसे होते हैं? ये आधा पानी में होते हैं और आधा आपके आधा पानी में ग्रो करते हैं और आधा ऊपर होते हैं. जस्ट लाइक दिस, जस्ट सी द दिस ड्राइंग. सपोज दिस इज द वाटर and plant is growing like this, half under the water and half above the water. Okay, this particular thing is known as your mangrove forest. The tree which is grow here are sundari, palm, coconut and agar. The animal which are famous here are Bengal tiger, turtle, crocodile and gharial snakes. So these things or this forest belongs with the help of this forest grow in the water, so the animal which is grow here or survive here is also connected to the water. The area which is occupied by your mangrove forest are delta of Mahanadi, Kaveri, Godavari and West Bengal. There are some Wildlife Protection Act was implemented in 1972 in India. Okay, we are just were discussing about this only. Now coming to the topic wildlife. So Wildlife Protection Act was implemented in 1972 in India. India is only country in which the world that has both lion and tiger. The Gir forest of Gujarat is the last remaining habitat of Asiatic lion. तो गिर फॉरेस्ट जो है गुजरात में, यहाँ पे जो एशियाटिक लायन है वो यहाँ पे सर्वाइव कर रहे हैं. The country has around 90,000 animal species and 200 species of bird, 2,546 species of fishes and 5 to 8% of world amphibians, reptiles and mammals. So these are the species or data which is given here. To protect the flora and fauna, the government has taken following step. So this is very natural that we have to protect these animals, we have to protect our biosphere. So the things which is taken by the government and it should be implemented by us also. So let us begin with it. Okay, here. So first is 14 biosphere reserves has been set up in the country to protect flora fauna. So government has taken a part that we have made 14 bioreserves where we protect our flora and fauna. Second is financial and technical assistance is provided to many botanical garden by the government since 1992. जितना भी हमें फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट देना है अपने इस फ्लोरा फना को बचाने के लिए, सारी चीज़ फाइनेंशियल एंड टेक्निकल थिंग्स दैट इज़ योर माइक्रोस्कोप्स, योर न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी is given to these biospheres to protect these species, because there are some species which are endangered. Why? Because they were now having less number of their survival. Second, what we are doing, so the financial support is given in the Kutch cold desert and Sheshchalm and Pana. Project Tiger, Project Rhino, Project Great India Bastard, and many other eco development project has been introduced. So these project has been introduced in many uh, areas of your India, plus 103 natural national park, 535 wildlife sanctuaries and zoological garden are set up to take care of the natural heritage. All of us must realize that the importance of the natural ecosystem for our own survival. It is possible if indiscriminate destruction of natural vegetation is put to an immediate end. So these are the initiative which our government is taking. So our duty is also to safeguard these things. There are some important thing which you should remember, this particular thing which is very important. So biosphere, their locations. Okay, I'm reading out one by one, you will get the reference. Okay, because here there it is not written the area where it is, so I will tell you the areas also. You can just pause and write in your book or copy or notes. Sundarban is located in West Bengal. Gulf of Mannar is in Tamil Nadu. The Nilgiri is in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, because Nilgiri is a hill. So it is stretched to your Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Karnataka whole part. Then you have Nanda Devi, it is in Uttarakhand. No Creek, it is in Meghalaya. Manas is in Assam. Great Nicobar is in Andaman Nicobar Island. So these are your biosphere reserve. Okay, now coming to the next one, that is this part. This is also your biosphere reserve. Okay, Simlipal, Orissa, Dihang, Dibang, Arunachal Pradesh, Dibru Saikova, Assam, Agastya Malai, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Kakchin, Zonga, Sikkim, Panchmari, Madhya Pradesh, and Achnakmar or Amkantak, Madhya Pradesh, Amarkantak in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh. So you have know about the places where these biosphere located. Now, there are some relation between the national park, sanctuaries, and biosphere. You must have some confusion regarding, ma'am, what is the difference between uh, natural park, sanctuary, and biosphere? Okay, so I will discuss it one by one, taking the reference of this map. Okay, national park, the habitat for a particular plant or a wild animal. Example, Jim Corbett National Park for Tiger Reserve. When you make a particular plant or animal to be habitat in any area, that you consider as a national park. Okay, sanctuary, a natural area reserved for species originated plant or animals. For example, Manas Bird Sanctuary. Sanctuary is a place where the species grow naturally. You have not brought them from other area. Okay, this is, so sanctuary is a natural area reserved, जहाँ पे वो ग्रो करते हैं नेचुरली, आपने उनको कुछ किया नहीं, दे ग्रो, दे हैव दैट प्लेस ओनली. So that type of thing you will understood as your sanctuary. Biosphere reserve, a natural area meant to reserve all form of life. और बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व क्या होता है? बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व एक वाइड एरिया को कवर करता है, अ नेचुरल एरिया मेंट टू रिजर्व ऑल द फॉर्म ऑफ लाइफ. चाहे वो बर्ड, चाहे वो एनिमल, चाहे वो प्लांट हो। दैट इज ओवर अ इकोसिस्टम ओरिजिनेटेड, दैट इज सिंपली पर जो बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व है वो आपका नेचुरल है, जहाँ पे आप अपने प्लांट एनिमल सभी एक साथ सारे इकोसिस्टम को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, उसे आप कहते हैं। कुछ और भी चीज़ समझ लेते हैं। नेचुरल पार्क का जो बाउंड्री होता है वो फिक्स्ड बाय लेजिस्लेशन होता है, सेंचुरी का फिक्स्ड नहीं होता, ये इनवायलेबल है। इनवायलेबल मतलब आप इसको डिसाइड नहीं कर सकते। बायोस्फीयर का फिक्स्ड होता है बाउंड्री लाइन। ओके, नेचुरल पार्क में टूरिज्म परमिशेबल है, आप टूरिज्म आप जा सकते हैं, घूम सकते हैं। सेंचुरी में भी आप जा सकते हैं, घूम सकते हैं, लेकिन बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व में आप टूरिज्म जनरली परमिशेबल नहीं होता। जनरली परमिशेबल मतलब होता है कि आपको इसके लिए परमिशन लेनी पड़ेगी एंड चांसेस ये भी हैं कि आपको परमिशन उस चीज़ की मिले या ना मिले। I hope that you will understood these three topic very clearly. Okay, if you have any doubt, okay, if you come across with any issue with these three terms, you can ask me. Okay, so let us know some more facts about other things. Okay, so the more facts which I supposed to tell you is, just a second, it is not here. Supposed to give you, okay, I will supposed to give you these things. National parks, so you have a lot of national parks in India. You in your junior classes you have learned about these, that is Kaziranga National Park in Assam, okay, which is established in 1974. Then you have Manas, Assam, Gir, Gujarat, Himis in Jammu Kashmir, Bandipur in Karnataka, Periyar in Kerala. You should understood this one also, that which national park preserved which wildlife. So Kaziranga National Park preserved one horned rhinoceros animal. Manas, that is in Assam, it preserved wildlife, that is roofed turtle, golden langur. Then you have Gir, Gujarat, एशियाटिक लायन को प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं। हिमिस जो जम्मू कश्मीर में है, ये स्नो लिपर्ड को प्रोटेक्ट कर रहे हैं वहाँ पे। बंदीपुर जो कर्नाटका में है, वो एशियन एलिफेंट और टाइगर को प्रिजर्व किए हैं। पेरियार जो केरला में है, 1982 में ये इस्टेब्लिश किया गया था। ये नीलगिरी के जो लंगूर एंड फ्लाइंग स्क्वेरल हैं, उनको यहाँ पे प्रोटेक्ट कर रहे हैं। सो दिस इज़ अगेन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. We have a list of these national parks. I will provide you in your classes. So things which is very important, I am just giving you the reference once again, so that you will just revise your chapter thoroughly. So we have discussed about the natural vegetation. Without the interference of human body or human aid, the plant that vegetation grow is known as natural vegetation. And in this natural vegetation, when the wildlife grow, they have the connection, okay, which we understood as the ecosystem. The things which is responsible, or the factor which is responsible, are land, climate and soil, temperature, precipitation. Okay, we have also discussed that our government also sure about that we should cover maximum 33% of land with the natural vegetation, but in reference to our state it is only less than 10%. Types of vegetation we have discussed here, and we have discussed in the detail. I hope that you understood this. Okay, each vegetation is very important, each forest is very important. Their rainfall, area, plant, wildlife character is the main thing. This is the picture which map which is very important in reference to natural vegetation, and the shade is also given here. Shade is simply given here to make your study easy. As it goes dark, the vegetation go dense. As it go light in color, the vegetation is not so dense. So here all the characteristics is given here. So there is some medical plant given here. You can just go through it. You will realize how India know these facts just before their civilization. Okay, how we are protecting our wildlife, what are the uh, sanctuaries, national parks, bioreserves we have established. So each given here with the symbol, and symbol representation is given in the index box. So here is your chapter. Yes, so I hope